right, so today is color mixing day. I'm here. We're gonna talk about color mixing and the color wheel. Kind of want to take notes. You totally can. I have some color wheels for you guys to check out while we're working. While I talk things out through. Have we gone over this yet? No? Good. All right. Just want to make sure. I didn't think we did, but I was like, maybe I taught this. I don't know. All right, cool. Here we go. So this is just to kind of for reference here. There you go. Okay, of course. Of course. Doing. Yeah. I know. I'm not really one for the algorithms, so I'm just like, it's hard to find. That's okay. Here I am. That's me. Cool. You can see it live if you want. Be sure to mute your phone. Happens. Okay. So, color mixing is a tool, optional tool, totally. You can totally, I mean, of course, you can be mixing colors no matter what you create, but I'll kind of show you the basis here and kind of what we will look at just as far as finding precise colors that we see in front of us. Now, sometimes, a lot of the times, artists will have their own way of exploring the color that they see in front of them. Sometimes when they see a gray sky, they want to paint it blue or pink or purple. And you're totally allowed to do that. But some artists will make a catalog of the actual colors that they see. And I kind of invite you guys to do this. This is kind of a fun way to, I don't know if you ever go out plein air painting or painting in a dark, dim place or at night, you can still find colors around you. Certain artists, do you remember the artist's name? The flower artist, New Mexico? I'll search her up. What's her name? I just want to throw down the name. Georgia O'Keeffe. Georgia O'Keeffe. Okay, get her up here. Get it up here. There we go. Georgia O'Keeffe. This artist here. I'm just going to share this. Yeah, we'll do that. So Georgia O'Keeffe also would paint outdoors. There she is. And she would try to find colors in nature that inspired her. She would literally make little swatches of colors that she would take back to the studio and paint. Because colors that we see in real life sometimes are much more complicated than we kind of let on. You could write an entire dictionary of colors. Some artists have done that, but for me, I find that being there in person, finding those colors, that's AI, I think. But being there in person, seeing those colors are going to be the best. And if you try to get the colors from the screen here, that's on the projector, with this well-lit classroom, everything's going to be a little bit faded too. So even colors change depending on looking at photos or projectors, or maybe you're taking pictures on an old camera. Maybe it's going to come out more orange or yellow, So how we experience color, unfiltered in person, is going to be the best way to see color always. In front of the sun or something similar. So yeah. So let's talk about the color wheel that we have in front of us. Now, I'm kind of going off of what they call the Munsell color wheel. Now, I think I have this in Pinterest. If not, then I will have it on here. We need it. But we don't have it. Okay. Cool. Good. I'm gonna share this. Okay. So this is the Munsell color system. So you might have seen a color wheel that looks like a wheel, right? Well, this is a wheel, but it's expanded. And with this wheel, supposedly, this is all the colors in the rainbow and everything in between. All the gray areas, all the murky colors, all the dark colors. So there's basically 3 dimensions to color. All right. And that is where we will start. So, and with every dimension, you can kind of explore different feelings and how it makes you feel, but also see it in person. So let's check this out. Here we are. I'll load this one. Okay. So the very first thing I like to focus on. Sorry, I'll do this for a second. Very first thing that you focus on when you're looking for a color is how dark it is or how light it is. This is what you call value. The value is how dark something is or how light something is. And depending on that value, it might make you feel different things. If you're in a room that is this dark, absolutely pitch black, you might be in you might be in a box. You might be in the absolute void. You might be in a black hole, which is kind of terrifying. Going down, 90%, 80%, maybe the sun has set and there's a full moon. And so you're kind of enjoying your night. Could be out in the town. Maybe you see some lights. You're going down to maybe 30%, 20%. That's kind of like daylight here. And then 0% and 10%. It could be super foggy, snowstorm, or maybe you're in the sun. So each of these things, you can take over your whole painting and change the way you feel just with how dark or how light something is. Okay. Now every color innately will have a value in it. So if you look at this pure hue, now these are all hues, all different hues. As you change your hue, you change this is color. Each of these are a different hue. So if you add more red to your orange, it's going to shift towards red. And if you add more orange to your red, it's going to very slowly shift towards orange. Of course, these pure hues, kind of straight from the tube hues, will have their own values in there. And there's been artists who use just pure color just to say, this is going to be really dark. I'll just use the pure blue for something really dark. And then this is really bright. I'm going to use this pure hue. Show you some examples. This is a Matisse. He used that idea of using colors as value. And you can see here that the brightest part of this guy's face is bright yellow. And the darkest part of his face here is this cyan, this blue, green kind of color. And he's not actually a yellow person, believe it or not. But because he's using all these colors just as hue, he's using every color in the rainbow. But when you're trying to find exact colors, let's check out this one. I'm sorry, kind of going back and forth. So this one here, we can really see kind of, I'm going to zoom in a bit. Now we can get into another part. So let's just look at value here. We can see the value of despair versus hope. What are we seeing here? What's the difference in value here, and how does it make you feel? Okay, I need to call on you guys. What about you? Huh? Oh, you want to translate on the phone? So the value, how is it different in despair from hope? I'm gonna turn down the lights. It's a little dark.
One is brighter than the other.
Yeah, basically, right? Yeah. I mean, even though there's a big, huge lightning bolt in the middle of the image, it's one is much darker than this other one. Now, why do you think makes us feel like despair versus hope? Yeah, it's darker. It's just darker. I don't know. You're noticing the pattern here. So sadness, dark,
Right.
hope, bright, cheerful, absolutely bright, light in every single corner. And we'll probably get more into things, but it's just this pure hues. Look at those hues. There's nothing else to them. It's just plain old green and plain old blue. So cheerful. Jolly, everything's kind of got a hint of orange to it. So the last thing we have to our wheel, so we got the value and we got the hue. The last thing we have to our color is chroma. So chroma is kind of what I like to call the purity of your hue. So the farther it is outside of this wheel, like on the Munsell color wheel, the more pure that hue is going to be. This is kind of straight from the tube hues right here. Now, the closer you get to this gray, it's basically saying that you're slowly mixing in the ultimate what's the word? Tone. It's just it's the most neutral tone of that value there. So it's like if you had this green, that's the same value here, just different color, just different hue, same value. And they slowly add in that gray until it becomes kind of this dead color, so you can either mix in a gray, that neutral color of gray to your color, or you can also use your color wheel. I'll show you how. All right, good stuff. So All right, let's just. I'm just gonna get a little reference here. I can kind of mix a color or something. This will be good. All right, here is an object. My wallet. Oh gosh, it's kind of hard to see, but I'm gonna try to mix this color of my wallet here, and it's gonna be. Ooh. A lot of sliding around today. So mixing precise colors here. Oh man. The colors are so wrong on the screen. That's a shame. Okay. Brush. One sec. Cool. Okay. Okay. So, so I have my little palette here. Let's see if I can get this closer. There we go. That looks right. Cool. So I always like to have a little swatch of paper so that I can test my colors. This is like one of the best tools you can have. All right, and I have my wallet here. This is the thing I'm going to be testing my color with. And so I kind of start with a color that I feel like is the closest to it. And that might be brown. So I could pick up some brown, put it down. And I could either, one, stick with that brown and test it out, or two, try to mix it closer to what I see here, which I'm going to try to get this color here, this kind of broken color here. So this kind of broken color here, I'm going to kind of add this brown to my swatch. And then I can kind of add it, and I'm going to test it out. So if you're in real life, you probably hold this up to kind of test out how that brown is. And when I test it out, I feel like it needs to be more yellow, because I'm just kind of comparing colors now. So I grab some of this yellow that I see here, and I can add it to like a corner of this brown, and I can slowly add in that brown until I see it turn into a color that I like. Now I'm gonna make quite a bit here. Here we go. Now is this good? Maybe more. Okay. You guys see the colors okay? Yeah. Okay. So now I can test it. I feel like it still needs more yellow. Or maybe it needs to be lighter. Let's try more yellow, because light yellow is also a lighter color. So that yellow will make it a bit lighter. Okay, let's try that out. Maybe even more yellow. Maybe I'll get some of this warmer yellow here. And maybe I'll get a bit of white here just to make it a bit lighter. See how that goes. Darker. Okay. Let's get more yellow. Much more yellow. So at this point, I'm just going to start a new pile here because what's happening is that I have such a big pile here that it'd be better just to kind of abandon it and start a new pile because that's going to, I think that's pretty good. All right. Cool. All right. Add a teensy bit of water. And I think I got the color. I could paint that square here. So I got highlight of my wallet. And I can go back in to get the shadow part of the wallet. So I can get that brown again. Now, if I'm wanting to make it more neutral, I could either A, mix more of my gray in there, or since I'm kind of in this red-orange area, I could add in some of these opposite colors here. As we kind of learned before, that burnt sienna and that ultramarine blue makes a gray. Why does it do that? Because it's on the opposite side of the color wheel. Now, the way I see the color wheel is kind of like a control on the video game. Let me explain. Imagine this being a little man. He turns different colors as you tap a different color icon. So if you want to add more blue, this man moves towards the blue. Tap on blue, he moves a little over. That's just like mixing color into your mixture here. So if you have that orange and you're mixing more blue, eventually you get to that neutral gray area, right? So you'll kind of find that neutral color. And you can get that same gray mixing three colors. You can add that orange, you can add some green, so it goes closer to the green. Add that violet, goes closer to the violet. Add that green, add that violet, add that green, and all of a sudden you have a gray. So if you're working with a color that is very neutral, like my wallet, or maybe this dirty sock, like this dirty sock here, it's got a lot of gray to it, right? But it's not a pure gray. You could start with gray. You could start with that value, especially if it's super neutral like this is. So if we started with this, you know, there's a bunch of splotches all over it, right? There's blues in there. There's some reds in there, some little splotches, some little lints. It's kind of a mess. But you can kind of pick a single color that you could see it throughout, and then you could add all the dirt and shadows in later. So I kind of like this kind of color to work with. Maybe this kind of color over here. I could see this being underneath everything. So if I was to mix that up, maybe this time, because it's such a neutral color, I'll start with that gray. So I could start with just that white, because it's mostly white. It's not in the dark, dark shadows. Look at that grayscale. It's probably closer to what? Where are we at? Anybody? What do you think is like the overall value here if we were to start with a gray? Just 30? Yeah, I'd say it's about 30. You can try to mix a nice 30. So that white is pretty good, but that black is going to be real strong. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of that black. A little bit more. I feel like that's pretty good. There we go. Oh, snap. This looks like the color already because I have a bit of brown and yellow in my brush. But I'm just going to double check. Throw it on the side of my thing here. I kind of check it. Maybe it could be a bit darker. And I can start comparing colors because when I see those two colors next to each other, that's the only time where I get to see what that relationship is between each other and what little color you should adjust. So everybody should have a little swatch like this, some little piece of paper. You could literally use trash or a paper towel. Well, maybe not paper towel. It might soak up water a lot. But anything else? So maybe I could get bit more, maybe a bit more yellow or something. There, how's that look? Maybe even a bit more. Yeah. Maybe a bit more this yellow. Now that's a bit too much yellow, but let's see. Maybe a bit more white. So whenever you add white or black, we know that that is the most neutral gray. White and black have no hue. They are absolutely in the middle, right? Yeah. I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this color here. Now I got my sock color. Maybe I'll paint a weird little sock shape. Oh. Maybe it needs a bit more blue or something. Get some blue in there because it's got some orange, you know. So maybe I'll think about that kind of neutral color of that blue in there. Let's see how this goes. Ooh, that looks better. I like that bit of blue in there. That's right. Then I could add all that shadow and muck in there. That's very similar. Yep, there's all the shadow and muck. Just adding that right on top. Yeah. Alrighty. So again, we got three things to think about. We got the value. We have the hue. Where is that color starting? And then we got the chroma. Does it need to be grayed down? Does it start towards gray? You know, there's different ways you can start it, but I think thinking about it in that level, like step by step, you know, that's a good place to get started here. And you can kind of think about it in layers. So it's like when I worked on this sock here, you know, I kind of thought about it as clean and then I added the dirt on afterwards. This is the same thing. You know, I see there's like maybe a bit of scratching going on here. So there's that kind of undercolor that's a bit more yellow. Then there's a over color that's maybe more deeper brown, more black. So I could get more black in there, or maybe a bit more red. And of course, check it out, see how it lines up. Here we go. See how that looks. Oh, that's spot on. I'm happy about that. Little bit of water, easy up on the water. And I can do it real lightly here. Oh, bam, there it is. There's my wallet. I can get that kind of dry texture there. Because there was kind of two steps there. Same with the sock. Oh, did you see that? Yeah. All right. Now, questions? All right, so kind of review. Someone want to tell me what hue is?
Color,
Huh?
color.
Right. Okay. Okay. Right. Kind of which direction is the color going in, right? And then what's chroma? What's the difference between color and chroma? Do you want to tell me? Just give it a guess. Okay, so color and chroma, you don't know the difference? Okay, so hue is where it is on the color wheel. Chroma is the intensity, is the power. So this blue right here on the color wheel, 100% chroma. That's kind of between the neutral gray versus the blue. So if there was like a gray, let's say we got a gray. All right, let's say we got like some gray here. Okay. Here we go. We got a gray here. And let's say it just had a teensy bit of blue. All right, so that's a gray with just a very teensy bit of blue. You can see it's kind of like a jet gray rather than a regular plain gray. It's like a shark. Now this, I would say, has a blue hue, but it's very neutral. That chroma is very weak. It's got very low saturation, you know? So it's very grayed down. You know? Now, if you're wanting to create colors with a stronger chroma, aka stronger colors, now there's two ways to go about it. Because you're thinking, oh, I want to make a really bright color here. So check this out. All right, let's go here. So this is a good example. Let's see here. Okay. No, this is maybe better. So here. Okay, this is good. So out of these two cubes here, these two right here, which has a brighter yellow?
Right.
The right side has a brighter yellow?
Yeah.
The yellow here is almost identical to this. But the only difference is that the value surrounding this yellow here, that's vibrant and glowing, there's also a glow to it. That's what makes this feel like it's brighter. It's because everything else around it is darker. Yeah. Whereas this here, because this is so evenly lit, it doesn't feel like it's glowing as brightly as this yellow here. Yeah. So if you're wanting something to have a really good glow, then you definitely want to show less. So, for example, this cheerful, or here, no, epicness is perfect. So, this epicness painting here, if you look at it, this little area here is maybe 20% of the image. That's a good rule to go by. Is bright, powerful, pure hues. There's that pure red, that pure orange, that pure yellow, that pure white, pure orange. But it's only a very small bit of it. The only reason why it feels so intense is because of all the darkness around it, right? Even with cheerful, not all of this grass is green, right? But it feels brighter because they're choosing to keep it a bit darker towards the outside. Or they're choosing to make this grass darker to make the sky brighter. Yeah. So it's about contrast too. That's how you make a powerful color. Now, if you're wanting to make some kind of high chroma colors, which these are, you can see that they're using pure blues, right? Even in the shadows, these are some really high chroma blues. You can get that through mixing with colors that are close to each other. Show you. So if you wanted like a really pure dark color, you kind of want to work around here, the blue and the violet kind of area. If you started mixing colors that are further and further away, so if you mix that blue and the violet, that's going to be pretty high chroma. That's going to be pretty bright. With the red, violet, and blue, that's still pretty high. But once you start getting closer to that hot red and that orange, notice this line between here and there is going to start crossing into that neutral gray territory. That's where you start getting some duller colors. So you might think, oh, my colors are muddy and they're mucky. You might be mixing colors that are closer to those what you call complementaries. It's when they're opposites, complementaries. So if you had that orange and that blue, or that very orange looking red mixed with that blue, you're gonna get some muddy colors. You're gonna get some grays. But sometimes you want those grays. So, you kind of have to pay attention to what you see in front of you. We're gonna do a painting together now. Should we take a quick break? Let our brain rest for a bit? Yeah? All right, let's get some water. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Sounds good? All right, cool. So we'll be back at 155. And then we'll get to doing a little painting study of a tree, a hill, real simple painting color study. So it'll be fun. All right. All right, so using kind of color knowledge, we're going to try to find, the nearest color. So if you have a very neutral color, might be best to start with a very neutral color. Just start with a tone, and then you kind of want to start adding in those flavors. So make sure you have, guys, right away, have a little piece of paper out right now. This little strip, just like this, where you just can test those colors. Put them on the corners, rip out a piece of paper. If you have a bad drawing or bad painting you don't like seeing, you can kind of rip a little piece out of that. And then just make a little square once you get it. So it's a fun thing to do to try to just find the color. So everyone's got a different color, so you're going to do your own. So we just got 3 colors, so maybe, yeah. Maybe I even see a color on my palette already. So you can use those old colors from your palette if you wanted to. Now where's my little swatch thing? Sure. I'll do it here. Okay, so I'm gonna do this one here. There's my first gray. And a good thing to ask yourself is it warmer or is it cooler? And then you make an adjustment. So your first guess is not going to be right. So no pressure, guys. It's okay if it's not right. All you got to see is what does it look like once it hits that paper and kind of compare it. So when I'm looking at these two, I'm thinking, oh, this one's warmer than this one. So maybe I'll add a color that maybe I feel is warmer. I could get a color from my palette, see how that goes. That looks pretty good. Maybe a bit more brown. Maybe a bit more orange. But it's still mostly gray. I think that's it. All right. 1 done. More to go. 2 more to go. Maybe a bit more. Any questions, guys? All right, cool. All right, cool. Got my gray. What about this? These are the same. This one looks different. All right. So I'm gonna put on a little timer. I want to show you guys something cool. This will make more sense why I use the little thing here. So I'm gonna get one color of gray. So check this out. Take a pause. This is gonna be mind blowing. This is a study from an artist. His name is Joseph Albers. You may have seen it before. This guy. He was even more of a color nerd than me. And he did thousands of these kind of paintings. And basically what he's doing is he's looking at relationships. And I'll show you exactly how to kind of do one yourself. So I'm gonna get a very neutral color. I'm just gonna get this gray here. And I'm just gonna paint these two squares. I'm gonna do it bigger. Okay. Okay. There we go. Cool. So these are both gray. And they're both the same gray, right? I think. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cover one up. Well, not cover, but I'm going to surround it with a blue. Very pure chroma blue. There we go. Yeah. Cool. And I'm going to do the other one with very pure chroma, hot red. All right. Now, if we were to look at these two gray squares, do they feel like the same color anymore?
No.
No? Well, how does this gray compare to this one?
The top one is darker.
Darker? Interesting. And then, huh? They look the same?
Great.
Hmm. Well, let me try this again.
Maybe when you mix it, with the other color, that makes it different.
Here, let me try this again. One more time. Okay, cool. Here. I'll make them smaller this time with bigger squares of color. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So we got two grays, identical. Make one of them. There. This is better. And then I'll get the other one. This is really bright, hot red in there. Okay, yes. This is what I'm looking for. Okay. So now we can look at it. So do we see a difference here? Same gray. Now, I know we watched the whole thing happen, but just pretend we didn't. Because this blue, and this feels like it's more blue, huh? When I look at this. And then this one over here, it feels warmer. So the whole idea, why do you think that this feels cooler, like closer to blue? Why do we think that? No. Think about the color wheel. Here is that neutral gray. Huh? So the reason why we see this as a cooler color when it's next to that red is because it's getting closer to that blue. It's just like our little guy, the whole surrounding is orange. And when we compare that, anything next to it, like this ultra neutral gray, we're going to see that that neutral gray is heading on its way to blue. So anything that's purely gray surrounded by an orange or very warm color might appear more blue versus something that's surrounded by blue might feel a lot more orange or more warm because it's going closer to the orange. It's like heading on its way, right? It's about those relationships. So if you want to make a color cooler, you could add more blue, but if it was an orange or a yellow or a red, you could add more gray. It might change its tone. Okay. Cool. All right. Okay. I want to do are we still working on the color swatches? Yeah? You still working on them?
A little bit.
Okay. I'll let you guys work on those. You guys are so quiet today. Are we just waiting for spring break next week? Think about parties. Yeah, we don't have school next week anywhere. So if you have any classes with NOCE, no classes. So don't show up. They won't let you in. No one's gonna be here. So yeah.
How long is the spring break?
Just 1 week.
Oh,
Yeah. So enjoy your time. Okay. Does anyone need help mixing colors? I can come to you individually. Let's see how we do it. So you have the swatches? Is that right? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Great job. And then this is, that's really good. Just a little bit darker, but
This is
it's very close.
this is better.
Oh, for this color?
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah, this is very close. Yeah. It maybe even more neutral, maybe even more grays.
For this one.
More grays or more blues? So it can go gray or blue.
I put
Either
in
way.
the blue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then this one?
No, this
Not yet?
this.
Oh, so you haven't done this one yet? Okay, so you're on the last one now. That's good. Good swatches, that's what I like to see. Alright. And I feel like. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Maybe even more grays. Yeah, tricky. That's what I'm choosing. So far, so good. How you doing?
Very good.
Good.
I didn't bring the colors, so I couldn't.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, back here. Anything new with the painting?
I was just studying.
Studying.
Like, oh, I do have a question.
Yes.
Like you mentioned that the color
Uh-huh.
has three qualities, right?
Yes.
One is the hue,
Uh-huh.
and the other one is chroma,
Uh-huh.
and the other one is the value,
Yeah.
the three qualities.
Mhm.
So the value I understand, the hue I understand, the chroma is that it's the intensity of the color.
Yeah.
So.
It's like saturation in
The
photography.
same green,
Uh-huh.
the same blue green
Uh-huh.
can have different chroma.
Yes.
More, darker blue green,
Uh-huh.
lighter blue green, like that.
Right.
I see.
Yeah, so, you know, you can, if you look at this blue-green,
Mhm.
you kind of compare it to one of the values,
Yeah.
maybe it's close to like 50 or 60%. Between these two values and the color is just different variations of the green. It slowly gets more and more
I see.
with less and less chroma.
Like, for example, like this color,
Mhm.
if I'm gonna choose, it doesn't agree with any one of the colors,
Exactly.
of course.
So it's kind of somewhere in the middle though.
If we look at the gray scale,
Mhm.
then we also, hard for me to, maybe more like this one.
Yeah,
or,
exactly, great, yep.
So that, but the grayscale would be this one.
Yes.
The hue would be,
Uh-huh.
a combination of something.
Something close, you can just start a direction. So, you
They're
know,
definitely not there.
it's somewhere between this gray, yeah, probably a bit of violet, yeah, I would agree. Somewhere between like violet, maybe even a bit of red in there,
Okay.
somewhere between over
There's
here.
some red in here.
Yeah, so it's like a map, you know, it's like, you kind of have to take a bit of a guess, but as you mix and you test those little swatches, you can kind of compare the two, just like you're doing now, and you can see, oh, it's a bit more warm, it's a bit more cool, you know, which direction do you need to go? Kind of triangulate it too, if you wanted to. Yeah.
Textual.
You know, big words, I shouldn't be dropping, but, yeah. Perfect, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Matches color.
Oh,
This one is here.
okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This one's here,
Oh, very good. Okay.
this one's here.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Perfect.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I'll give you back this
Oh, sure, yes.
side.
Oh, I got it.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. How you doing? Let's see. We can just compare. Oh, I see, yeah. This one, oh, yeah.
That's just the name.
Oh, yeah. And then this one. Oh, that's very good. All right, awesome. All right, cool. You guys are doing great. Here, let's see, guys. How you doing? This one? Okay. This one's good, very good. And then, yeah, so you might want to just start with a swatch. So,
It's easy.
do you have a palette, something to mix your colors on? Okay, yes, mix the colors and then put it on the swatch.
Here.
So start with a new swatch every time. So it's a good color, start a new swatch. And when you're done, you can throw it on the messy paper, that's good. There, Good. Done. Now, you can pull this up to what you're trying to do. I don't know what color you're looking at. It'll be less water. Oh, this is acrylic. Let me see. Okay. It'll still work. It's just, it will dry in here, so you can't reuse it. Right, we're gonna start with this. So, let's compare. Do you think it needs more white?
呢個係 green，
What do you think it needs more of?
少少 brown green， 呢個係 yellow，
More white?
rich，
You sure? It needs to be lighter?
好啱。
Compare.
Mm.
More blue, more blue. So add more blue,
我就亂咁配一
and you know, you should have all these out.
就睇你
You
咁
can
樣，我
put
就
the
係
paints in here and then pick them up as you go. Now, something you can do, instead of mixing all of it, is just a little bit. You should. Here's the brush. So the blue starts in the side and slowly moves in the top. So you can kind of see how it looks here. And then you can test. And now you can compare. Now, so because this is so strong, I can start a new one and get some of that white. Because the white is not as strong as blue. And go. Alright, I got it for free. But it's about those little piles.
Step by step.
Yeah. And always compare, and then it'll be good. By the way, these are totally free. If you ever want to go up to Home Depot, challenge yourself, find the most difficult color to mix. That's kind of what I did today. Yeah. It's kind of fun, just mixing color. You don't have to worry about how things look. You just capture, how it feels. Comparing colors.
How do you mix light purple?
Light purple? Depends what purple.
Very light, like a feminine, very feminine light purple.
Like a pink?
Pastel color.
Like a rose? Yeah. Give me an object.
It's kind of
Oh, like lavender.
lavender.
So that would be lavender's a very pale version of violet. So I would just be adding white to it.
White to white, blue
To-
and red.
It would probably be close. To get a better purple, because blue and red you can see are so far apart that when you mix them together, they start getting into a neutral gray. So to make a good purple, you want to mix something that's closer, like a magenta or a very cool red. See, there's different kinds of reds. So this is that hot red you're kind of thinking of. If you mix this into a blue, and I can do that right now. This is basically the same red. I mix that into a blue here. It's not going to give me purple. And maybe it will, but it's going to be a very murky purple. And I know why. Because let me get some more water here. It's so dry. Here we go. So there's that blue and that hot red. Oh, come on now. There we go. See that? It makes this like murky kind of purple looking thing. It's very close to that neutral gray. So that's basically what that red and that blue does. Yeah, come on. There's that red and that blue. They're so far away that they make basically a neutral gray. See? It's somewhere in there. Mixing that blue and that red together. Now, if I was to get a different red that's closer to maybe this red violet here, some call it rose, some call it alizarin crimson. It's a very cool red. This red right here, it looks like a lip color. Well, some lip colors. Well, if I mix this with a similar blue, get that ultramarine blue maybe. This one over here is kind of a blue violet. Mix that in together. Get a bit more. The blue is so strong, so I'm trying to be careful with it. There it goes. Add a bit of white to it now. That white's going to lighten it up like that lavender. That's a bit more lively, don't you think, compared to that one? You can see the two different colors there. There's that nice. I could add more white to it, get even closer to that lavender color. There. Cute. Nice. I could probably get a bit more red into it or more blue, depending what you're trying to do. I mean, magenta is going to be an even closer color. I love magenta. That's one of my favorite colors. That's why printers use magenta, because they get to that really close color to that purple. And magenta is kind of perfect. A lot of artists will use cyan, yellow, and magenta. And then they use sometimes they even have red in there too. That's kind of some of the.
Magenta is very similar to the red violet.
It
on the
is.
color wheel.
Yeah, I would call this red violet magenta
I see.
personally, but that's just the way they wrote it. Yeah. Of course, names are just made up. So it's more about look. It's more about knowing where does it fall on the color wheel. Even if you had ultramarine blue with 3 different brands, it might be slightly different. So it's good to just know where it kind of sits on the color wheel over the name. But names are pretty trustworthy, but every brand is different.
Alright. Magenta.
I love magenta. Okay.
Magenta is also very similar to alizarin crimson.
Yeah, it's closer. I would say it's kind of in between. It's kind of over here somewhere. But yeah, that magenta would be like purely that red violet right there. And you can mix that blue with it, and it stays pretty close to it, so you get that brighter, stronger chroma of a color. Yeah. You guys are getting it, huh?
The lavender is more like a violet makes it white, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what I was kind of doing here. Just adding more white to it. See that's probably really close to that little pepper spray you had. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful color. Yeah, if you start adding some black to it, you also start losing chroma. I mean, as you continue to add white to it, you're also losing chroma. So, you know, that's something to kind of think about, I guess. All right. All right. Let's do a study here. Now I was gonna do a tree. Now I don't know if I have time to do this tree, but I think we will have time to do a sky, a very plain sky. This is. Let's see here. Okay, so how about we do this? Ooh, there's some good greens. Greens are kind of tricky. Because, yeah, let's do this. So, here we go. So, kind of see it here. No. Alright, here we go. Oh, that's right. Well. Oh. Yes. Oh, I'm smart. Nope, I'm not. I lied. No. Oh no. Oh God. Oh, it's gonna make me sick. We're not gonna do that. Okay, let's just do this. So when we look at the sky, for instance, how I like to do it is I like to find two colors. We have this color We have the color down here, closer to the horizon. Looks like it's a real smoggy day. This must be in California. And we have this color up here. The sky isn't one color, guys. We got this highly pigmented and maybe darker in value, blue, and then we have this lighter in value, maybe gray down. Maybe it's got some, I don't know, you can see a whole bunch of colors in there. So let's do this. We're gonna ignore this tree. We're gonna do the sky, 2 tones. We're gonna do the hill here. And then yeah, that's it. And we'll call it a day. I think we can do that in 20 minutes. So let's do it. All right, so I'm gonna have this off to the side. You can watch along with me. I did this tree before, so if you want to watch the full thing, it's on YouTube. Okay. So this will be small, this painting. So I'm gonna just use like a portion of a page here. Basically a scrap page, but it's just gonna be about color mixing. You can make it as small as or as big as you want. I basically did it already, right here. So I'm gonna do it bigger just for you guys though. Oh, sure, right here. Why not? All right, I'm gonna get a bigger brush here. Now, my recommendation to you guys, make sure you have all your colors out. So you want to have them out and accessible like I do. So this is easy. I can just kind of scoop and go. It's going to be difficult otherwise if you're just going straight from the tube. Yeah. So let's get into it. All right. So I'm going to try to find that blue color. No, I'm going to make sure I have a little scrap paper to test my colors with. Okay. Just need a little scrap paper. Yep. This is going to be my scrap paper. I'm just going to continue to cut away from this piece here. All right. So I can kind of start off with the sky here. Okay. So sky is blue. So I'm gonna start with the lighter side of the sky first. So I'm gonna get some water and get some blue. Start here. Make sure there's decent amount of water in here. Now it's mixing up with some of my colors here. It's probably mixing in with a bit of white, maybe a bit of gray. But let's see how this looks. I'm just gonna go and swatch it. Make sure it's on the edge of your paper when you swatch. And then I'm just gonna check on the screen. So oh, okay, sure. Okay. So you might have to work with the lighting in here. But I know it's gonna need a lot more white in there. So I'll add some more white. And it's just about relationship, trial and error. And for the sky, I'm only worried about the bottommost and the topmost colors. So just 2 colors I gotta find. That's it. All right, well, I feel like it needs some gray. It's not a pure color because it's kind of murky outside. So if I add just a teensy bit of black, mix that in, some white because it needs to be lighter. There we go. Maybe more gray. It looks like I have some light gray here. Good. I can test it out. Ooh, that looks pretty good. I like that. See how that works. Try to get it correct lighting here. Yeah, I like it. I think it's good enough. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start off with my hill. I like to paint in the hill. All right, there's the hill. Now, if you get the colors just right, you can have a lot of fun with kind of lying about correct shapes and stuff. You can kind of elaborate on shapes because if you get the right kind of color, people will be like, "Oh, that's real," and then they'll see that that hill is crazy steep or something wild, but it's still believable. You can kind of play around with that. So there's that light blue. Now I'm gonna try to find the deep blue here. Deep blue here. Okay. Good stuff. There's a deeper blue. Let's see how this compares. See how that looks. Even deeper. It feels like there's even maybe some of this real deep blue that I have in my palette here. All right, let's check it out. Oh yeah, it's pretty good. I'm just gonna get maybe a bit more of this blue here. And when you mix this stuff, you're painting for the biggest part of the canvas, the biggest part of your paper. So you want to make sure that you mix a lot. This is the only time. And especially for the skies or areas that create a lot of light for your painting, you want to make a lot of that color because that color is going to be into everything because light bounces everywhere. So you can get a bit of this color and mix it in with a little bit of some other color on the screen. It's going to unify everything together. There, that looks good. So all I did was got that same color that I had from before. I could even get it a bit wet beforehand. Bit wet, and then I'm going to get that color in there. There we go. Now, the trick to getting a good gradient here, watch real close. I get that darker color and I just lay off on the paint and just let it run out. And eventually it just runs out. working digitally, blending tool. you know. Yeah. Cool. All right. Here we go. I'm happy with that gradient. Isn't it crazy to see this and be like, there's two colors here? They look so similar, but I think it makes a pretty big difference. Sometimes the sky is more dramatic, and I could always take things away. I could always make it lighter, like kind of taking some stuff away. But that's pretty good. Now we're into neutral zone. Can you guys see it okay? Or is my setups blocking you guys? I think I'm gonna move it up a bit. Yeah. When you get exact colors, you can work really graphically too. You know, you don't need to do any stippling, you don't need to do any detail. You could just get a big old block of that exact color, and people will believe it. So, I know the sky has this color. It has the blue in it, which means it's the atmosphere. So this atmosphere here will be bleeding into my hill. So maybe my hill has got some browns, yellows, neutral colors in here, but it's also got that blue in it. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna kind of start off with this blue, and I'm gonna kind of edge my way over to that color that we see there. And you can kind of see the two combined here. You can see just like our swatch, in reality, we have that moment where the side of the hill is right next to the sky. And you can kind of compare those two. And what kind of color do we see the hill being just slightly different from the blue? Anyone? I don't know about you, but I think I see a bit of purple in there. So maybe I'll get a bit of purple if I have it. Or maybe some sort of like red or something. All right, so I'm gonna kind of start in this blue pile here. Shoot, this purple from before, this very neutral purple, is very close to what I need. I'm gonna check that out, because remember what I mixed for that? I just got that hot red and mixed it with the blue, because then it made a really neutral purple, right? Check this out. This looks good. This looks really good. I feel that's spot on. So basically, there it is. That's crazy. Yeah. The more you do these kind of studies, the more you find colors and color relationships that you really like. And you can use this in your own imagined work. Cool. I could go a step further, because there's this kind of sand color kind of splattered here and there with the houses and the rocks. But it's not actually a sand color because it's got that blue, right? But when that blue is right next to that color here, it's gonna feel more sandy. So maybe, and more light. So maybe I'll start with the same purple color. Maybe I'll get some, well, I don't know. So right now I have this kind of color over here. So maybe I could mix in some yellow orange. So I have this kind of neutral kind of color here. This is a yellow ochre. Here we go. And a bit of white because I want it to be lighter. Okay. This looks pretty good. Let's check it out. Maybe a bit more yellow. I have this yellow here from earlier. And a bit more white. Okay, let's try this out. More. That looks good. Do more white. And a bit more of this. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This is looking good. Oh, this is looking very good. Yeah, I like it. Okay, cool. And something fun with gouache. I'm gonna do this real quick. Yeah, I know. We can start cleaning up soon. But I can use this kind of dry brush here and kind of drag it over. That's gonna make it feel like those rocks and maybe little houses over here. Ooh. Cool. All right. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. Well, we have run out of time. Not next week, but the week after, we'll have a free day. So feel free to bring in a picture of a hill or something. I also have a fun little project that you can do to play around more with color. As you can see. So, yep. All right. Well, you guys are free. Feel free to take an extra 10 minutes if you need it, but I'm gonna start cleaning up here. Any questions? Anyone want me to help you out with anything? Good. All right. Thank you. How you feeling? All right. I'll see you next week then. Huh? Oh, yeah, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. Oh, yeah. All righty. Feeling good? Yeah. Cool. Awesome. All right. Awesome. Whew. Thank God for wheels and chairs. Flying around everywhere.